We have a bit of sad breaking news tonight. Just as Delta variant cases begin to fall, we've hit a somber milestone. According to Johns Hopkins University, the U.S. has now surpassed 700,000 COVID deaths. And there are roughly 70 million people who can get the shot but are still unvaccinated. Today, Anthony Fauci warned that the drop in cases is not an excuse to walk away from getting the shot. Now, on this show, we've reported extensively about how schools, and specifically in red states, have become political battlegrounds in the fight against COVID and against critical race theory. We've seen Republican governors like Greg Abbott of Texas sign bills limiting how Black history is taught. And we've seen Florida Governor DeSantis threaten to withhold funding from school districts that mandate masks. But there are a few blue states trying to balance all of this nonsense out. Today, the West Coast, Governor Gavin Newsom of California announced that California will require students in kindergarten through 12th grade to get COVID vaccinations once the FDA gives full approval for younger students. California will become the first state in the country with such a mandate.
No, I have concerns about my kids going to school and other kids getting sick and getting them sick. I've got concern about their teachers, the bus drivers and paraprofessionals getting sick. I have concern about other parents that are manipulating facts and truths. I'm concerned about 700,000 Americans dying. I'm concerned that our economy is not where it needs to be, and our school systems across this country continue to close because we have closed our minds to facts and evidence and science in this country. We're not going to allow that to happen in California.
Then on the East Coast, New York City Public Schools unveiled a groundbreaking Black Studies curriculum for all students, K through 12. Members of the City Council say they secured $10 million in next year's budget to help launch this pilot program, which would include lessons on early African civilizations, the Black experience in America, the African diaspora, systemic and institutional racism, and much more. But can our public schools survive the blue-red divide? Joining me now is Professor of Africana Studies at Rutgers University and newly official BNC contributor, Brittney Cooper, and Executive Director of the Western States Center, Eric Ward. Brittney, welcome to the family. So you get the first question.
Thank you.
So, we're seeing these heartbreaking statistics about 700,000 people dying of COVID so far. Lawmakers in states still trying to clamp down on mask mandates in individual school districts. We now see California moving in the other direction on this. What do you make of this strain and, state by state complete divide on this issue?
Yeah, look, America is known around the world for this rampant strain of anti-intellectualism that's a hallmark of our sort of narrative about how we're rugged individualists and we believe in hard work and all of these things. And so sometimes that shows up, and that is actually not a breakdown that we see that strictly follows racial lines. But the other thing that I think we just have to tell the truth about is that red states are traditionally opposed to taxes, right? They are traditionally opposed to having a robust social safety net. They are opposed to public institutions. And so if you think about the way that red states govern, the way that the GOP governs, we need a robust tax structure in order for you to have, good roads and bridges, in order for you to have good public schools that everybody just gives taxes for our kids to go to. And they don't believe in that kind of tax structure because they think it means that we're giving free handouts. And so when you have that kind of challenge, you're going to necessarily see this divide, so that in blue states where taxes tend to be higher, belief in the social safety net tends to be higher, public schools also tend to have more quality to them. And even though folks think it's a super partisan thing to say, the right is anti-democratic. They want to limit who gets to participate in democracy. And they have figured out that one of the ways you limit that is by making people undereducated. If you undereducate folks, then they tend to be more authoritarian. They tend to be more susceptible to conspiracy theory, because when you begin to tell the truth about American history, it all stokes our sense of the deep injustices that have have been faced by Black folks and Indigenous folks. And then if we are people with any level of empathy, we feel compelled to do something. And that's how blue state liberalism sort of works. And red state anti liberalism and authoritarianism works opposite of that.
Eric, this idea of in New York City of a black curriculum, an African American curriculum sounds great. It sounds like this should be something that exists in every school district. But, it's really interesting to have it coming out of New York, which is one of the most segregated school systems in America. Is that the best first place we should focus our energy in a place like New York City school system is on the curriculum, or is it on tearing down the barriers that make that such a segregated school system, or can you just do both at the same time?
We have to understand it is important that we find places where we can experiment and engage communities in exploring honest history. But we have to be cautious. We are not moving backwards towards segregation. The goal is to move forward to a society that is not grounded in discrimination, and particularly racial bias. This is the backlash we're seeing right now. Yes, we need to double down in places that are large urban areas that contain large Black populations. That's because segregation and discrimination very much still exist in those areas. But we also need to engage communities around the country. We are a United States, and we need to focus on that united part. Schools are one of the last places, despite the severe segregation that exists, where people still come across lines of race, class, gender, ethnicity, right, to build new common identities. And it's that common identity that moves us forward. And that's why this issue is so critical right now.
Brittney, I want to go back to this issue of vaccinations. I mean, it seems to me that there will be other states, other districts that will want to do exactly what California is proposing to do by the time the FDA actually gets around to approving this vaccine for very young children. That process has not worked swiftly in the approval process for the public at large. It took months and months and months and months to do. So you may well be talking about next school year in any regard. But do you believe that we will get to a point where more school systems across the country will be mandating that every child is vaccinated for COVID? And if that becomes the case, what will be the politics of that? Because the politics right now is so charged around COVID that it is hard to figure out how we walk back from this.
Absolutely. I think you're really talking about two issues. So one of the things to say about vaccinations in schools is that the reason that our generation and the generation before us has been able to beat diseases like measles and mumps and whooping cough is because you just had to get vaccinated to go to school. So we've already had an infrastructure in place for decades where schooling and vaccination is tied together. And in some ways, I think that our narrativization about this needs to reassert that this is not new, that this is schools responding to the moment and saying that this is another thing that our kids need in order for them to be safe. And so I think that if schools stay in that neutral ground, they can do like universities who said, look, we require your kids to be vaccinated before you come to our college. But we know that we are also in this moment of historic polarization. Real talk, Charles. I mean, folks, the GOP is trying to restage the Civil War, and they're trying to do it in every way that they can. And so this is why you are seeing states have to do this thing where they're having to take over in the absence of a broad federal mandate. And so we should be concerned that this has become a state by state thing. But I think that one of the things for our community to consider, right, and the thing that I say to people all the time is that where vaccinations are high, deaths are low. Where vaccinations are low, deaths are high. And so we can continue to play this game, particularly in red states that also have large populations of Black people, where we engage in and accept Republican talking points and we don't get our kids vaccinated. But what we're going to see is we're going to lose our kids. We're going to lose a generation of kids. And if we don't lose them to death from COVID, right, we're going to have kids that have long COVID symptoms. I have a young relative who is just turned 14, caught COVID at 13, and has for months struggled with long COVID symptoms. That's a choice that we can make not to do to our children, and that parents have got to then start pushing these schools to do. So I think schools are a critical lever for how we change the culture of places. But I also think you're right that we've got to figure out how we're going to get out of this restaging of the Civil War in red states. And some of that actually starts with Black people in those places saying, we're not going to play these games with white conservatives. Y'all never have our interest at heart. And we don't actually need to believe these Republican talking points and suspicion about vaccines, because in the end, we're going to lose more of our kids because folks with money and political power can put their kids in better hospitals, can get their kids access to the kind of treatments that save their lives. Our people that are disadvantaged to do so, and we can't play those games.
Right. Brittney Cooper and Eric Ward, thank you both for your time tonight.